Hello everybody, my name is Tobin, and I'm going to do a little tutorial on MultiMedia Fusion 2.5. I'm going to make it pretty quick because I know that you don't want to sit here for 30 minutes watching a tutorial. That would be kind of boring. So, let's start out by talking all the wonderful things this little program can do. Most people, I feel like, don't even know what it is. It's kind of underrated, I feel. I don't know, maybe it's really popular and I'm just an idiot. So all the things it can do, it is a very simple game design program. It requires no coding, which is kind of the draw to it. A lot of people have amazing ideas for games, and the fact that they don't know code, I feel like kind of deters them from their dreams, their goals in game design. I love this program because it's actually very powerful once you really learn how to use it. And it requires no code, but the system it uses is kind of similar to a coding system. So I think it's actually a really good introduction. I feel like learning this isn't a waste of time. I feel like it'll actually help you, when you learn code yourself. I'm learning code kind of now, I guess. Learning would be a good word for it. And definitely this program has helped just kind of see the basic structure. Another thing I like about this is after this tutorial, you will literally be able to make a game. You'll be able to jump right into it. I know a lot of these programs, you gotta really learn them before you can start. This one's not like that. In fact, you can really teach yourself just by messing around with it. That's how I taught. I'm completely self-taught in this program. I think it's awesome. I've been using it since I was 12 years old. The program I am using is a MultiMedia Fusion 2.5. It does cost money, but there's a free demo on their website, and I'll put a link to it. So no charge. Now, the differences between this and the demo, I honestly don't know what they are. I've used the demo before and kind of looked at it, and honestly I couldn't really tell a difference. So there you have it. This program is kind of interesting. I know a lot of people, you see all those free game programs and you're kind of like, oh, those all suck. This one's actually pretty good. It's designed games such as Angry Video Game Nerd and Five Nights at Freddy's even. That's right. There's actually a 3D port you can buy for this to make 3D games. I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm just going to show you 2D right now. But let's get started. I'm just going to do a quick overview and then we'll get right into the game. I want this to be a pretty quick tutorial just because I want you guys to be able to get over with it, I guess. So, I'm going to show you the different windows in this program. First of all, the first window is the storyboard window. You access the windows from these little icons right here. This is the first one, the storyboard. This is kind of like, it's a storyboard. It's pretty self-explanatory. It shows all the different frames, or I guess you could even say the levels of your game. So you can make multiple levels. Just to be more clear on the game lingo. So these would be levels. It's where you can make multiple ones. This second one is the frame editor. That's the one we're on now. This is what the player is going to see. If you run the game, this is what they see. This is what is in your game is right here. The third window is called the event editor, and this is the code here. This is where all the code goes. This is where you tell things what they're going to do. So those are the three frames. You're going to be jumping back between them a lot. This one is what we're going to be working with first. Now I'm going to show you two different toolbars on the screen that are really important. The first one's right here. It's the workspace toolbar. It just shows all your frames. So you can see, I have level 1 and game over. Those are my two frames here. You can even see, your application. The second little toolbar, which I think is probably most important, is this one right here. It's called the properties, and it literally just shows you the It literally shows you the properties of anything you click on. It's pretty sweet. So, for example, click on the level 1 frame. It shows me all the different little stats for the level 1 frame. Isn't that just grand? But what I really use it for more than anything is, look, if I click on, for example, this brick, look, it shows me all the stats of the brick. Click on the ball, it shows me all the stats of the ball. And we'll be looking more at that in just 1 second. I just thought you should know what it is. So we're introducing the actives right now. I have mine pre-made. You're going to want to make yours. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. But you're going to need 3 different objects. You're going to need a brick, which I have right here, my lovely brick. You're going to need a ball, as seen here, beautiful. And you're going to need a bar, which is like a paddle. The game we're going to be making, I guess I should probably tell you, is Break the Brick, that pretty simple game. You know, you have the paddle and the ball, and you hit the ball and try and break the bricks. That's what we're going to be making today. Really simple, but it's kind of a great introduction, I think. That's the first game I ever made. So we're going to make the paddle. I'm just going to show you how to do it. So to insert more of these guys are called actives because they're pretty dang active because they do stuff. Makes a lot of sense. We're going to be making a new one. In order to make those, because you're going to have to make these two, you're going to go up here and hit insert. Pretty simple because you're going to be insert a new object. Now these are all objects. One we want is the active, and it's right there. So just double click on that, and you can just click to put it down, and voila. So that's my new active, and it starts out as a default diamond named active, and we don't want the diamond named active to be our paddle. So to edit it, all you gotta do is double click on it. Boom, boom. And you're gonna get this little editing screen. It's kind of like a paint almost. And I can do a tutorial on this maybe later if you want. I'm not going to right now just because time is of the essence, but I'm gonna really quickly show you how it works. You can just see different stuff. It's pretty easy. If you use paint, you're gonna know what you're doing. I'm gonna erase the little diamond. I'm gonna change the size, which you can do right here. I'm gonna make this really quick. I'm sorry if it's not gonna be a real. This is gonna be the paddle, so you're gonna want to make it kind of long. I'm gonna make it 120, and I'll make it 10 high. Yeah, that's perfect. And I'm going to make it neon green. Look at that, dude. We'll throw some color in there. I don't want brown. This is freaking disgusting. Ooh, all right. Perfect. See, there's my little bar. I'm gonna rename it bar. Perfect. Alright, so I just want to show you that real quick just so you kind of knew. But you're going to need to make a brick, a ball, and a bar. And you can either watch this while you code, or you can just watch all this and then make it yourself. Either way, whatever you want to do. It's all about you. Okay, so before we do any code, let's just work on this right here. We just want this to be laid out the way it's going to be. So let's look at it. There's obviously a problem. There's only one brick. That would be pretty easy. So let's make more bricks. MultiMedia Fusion has a really easy function for making a lot of one object. Just right click on it and hit duplicate, and it's going to come with this little screen here. Rows are what's going down, columns are what's going over, and that's the spacing in between. I've already kind of done this so I know what it needs to be, but just put 10 in row and column. And then rows, we're going to want 6, I think, and columns 7. Oh, 7. Not 5. 7. Hit OK. Look at that. Look, oh my gosh, that's just absolutely wonderful. Select all those, right click, and just center them. You can do align and frame. You can align them in different spots. I want it to look nice, so just make sure it's centered. You don't have to. I mean, it's your game, but if you want it to look good, then do that. So we have it all laid out. That's how it's going to look right there. That's beautiful. So now we're going to add some movements to these objects. Right here you'll see this is where you can run the game. Is this run application right here. We click it, doesn't do anything because we have all the object in there, but we haven't told them to do nothing yet. So let us do that. So MultiMedia Fusion 2 is really easy in the way that you can make things move. Just click on the ball. We're going to go over to this properties toolbar that I so wonderfully introduced to you in the beginning, and you'll see all these little tabs right here. Oh my gosh, wrong one, sorry. And you're going to want to click on this guy, the movement. Look, it has a little blue guy and he's jumping or running or whatever. It's perfect. It's pretty easy. And if you click, the type right now is static, which means it's not going to move. It has even a picture stop sign. How beautiful is that? So you're going to click on that, and oh my gosh, well look at that. A bouncing ball. I mean, that's kind of what we want, right? That's perfect. So click on that. So now it has been told to be a bouncing ball. That's pretty simple. So look, we run it. Look at that ball. It's moving now. That's awesome. One thing you're going to want to do is it has that initial direction. That's the direction it's going to start in, and right now it's telling it can start in any direction. You don't want it to start going down because that's a bunch of BS. You know, it goes down and you just lose right there because your ball left the screen. So just make it go top. That's what I always do. So that way there's no chance of it going down. Hope this is making sense. So there we go. We got that ball. It's only going to go up. It's not going to go down. Beautiful. So the next movement we're going to want is our bar. So the ball moves, but I mean we're not going to be able to stop it because our bar does not move. So let's do that next. Click on that. The next movement we're going to do, we're going to give this the 8 directions movement. Some people use the mouse, so you can like control the bar with your mouse. We're not going to do that. because I said so. So 8 directions. What this does is, look at that. It can move in 8 directions. Well, we don't want that because look, it's going all over the place. It's going, look at that. I can go all the way up to the bricks. Just freaking chill out with these guys. We don't want that. That's stupid. We just want them to be able to move right and left, not up or down. So that's pretty simple. Look at the directions. Just erase all of them, make it just go 2 ways. It's pretty easy. Now look at it. Only goes 2 ways. Can't make it go up. You guys can't really tell, but it's kind of slidey. Like I let go and it still kind of slides. Some people like that for this type of game because it's kind of cool. You can slide in and hit it. I don't like that just because I want it to be really perfected. Like I want the movement to be start, stop. So I'm going to turn both these up. That's just the acceleration and deceleration, how quick it starts and stops. And I'm also going to turn the speed up to 100 because I want it to be able to move fast and stop and start right when you say. So now kind of you can tell, look how much more like perfected that is. Like it stops right when I tell it to and it goes right when I tell it to. And it's fast, so that way it's more fair in hitting the ball. Alright, so the movements are done. Movements are good to go. We're going to start doing the code now because this is how we want it to be. But before we do that, we're going to insert 2 new objects. Not actives, but just objects. So hit insert, new object. The first one we're going to insert is called lives. You can just type that in or you can search for it, lives. And look at that. Just put it near the top like that. It already has 3 hearts. You can click on it and edit it if you want. I'm going to leave it. That's pretty cool. And the nice thing about MultiMedia Fusion is the lives are already programmed to be lives. You don't have to program them to. They are defaultly. They know they're lives and they're going to act like that. So it is pretty nice that it's already kind of laid out for us. And the second one we're going to insert is score. It's right here. It should just be a little number. I'm just going to align it in the center so it looks nice. And voila. That's what we want right there. So now we're going to move on with the code. We're going to actually start coding it. So when you, this is kind of how the code looks. It has the same type of thing. It's numbered. It's just like, it's kind of designed to look like a code like normal, because you have like the lines, and I think it's just like simplified code is really what it is. So what you really want to start do is you just want to start in thinking what needs to happen. So let's play it and see what needs to happen. Well, first of all, the ball is just, he's a freaking rebel, man. He's just running through those bricks. We don't want that. We want him to stop when he hits the bricks, right? And that's the whole point of the game. So that's what we're going to do first. So right here is where you put your condition, and then over here is where you put the event. What that means is the condition is if this happens, then this will happen. So this is the if and then statement. If, then, if, then. So for example, you're going to right click on it. It's going to bring you up with this little box that has a list of all of our objects in the frame. And so what we want is we want the ball to hit the brick, destroy the brick, and we also want the ball to bounce away. So we're going to right click on the ball, and it's going to give us a little list of all these different things we can do to the ball. Well, we're going to want a collision because the ball is going to be colliding with the brick and another object. Look, so when the ball collides with another object, what object? Well, the brick, of course, okay? And look at that. Collision between ball and brick. It's already set up for us. And now we just got to tell it what happens when the ball collides with a brick. Well, first of all, we want the ball to movement bounce. See, look, there's already a bounce there, so just hit bounce. So when the ball collides with the brick, it's going to bounce. And what else do we want to happen? We want the brick to be destroyed. We want it to break. So then you click destroy. Alright, see, now we'll give that a shot. Look at that. Do you see that? See how beautiful that is? Now it doesn't just fly through, it hits the brick and bounces. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Okay. So now let's think what else needs to happen. Well, I mean, I tried to stop it with my bar, and it really doesn't do that much. It just kind of ignores me. Sassy. So we're going to make it so when the ball collides with the bar, the ball's going to bounce. It's not going to be freaking rebel going through the bar. So we're going to do a very similar. We're going to do basically the same thing. That is going to collide with another object. But instead of the brick, we're just going to do bar. And instead of the bar being destroyed, we're just going to have the ball bounce. It's pretty simple. It's like the exact same thing almost. And now when we run it, look at this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is just... Oh my, this is the new Flappy Birds right here. Call Apple and get your app on there. It's wonderful. Alright. So now let's think what else needs to happen. Our ball's gone. Why is it gone? Well, if you were watching, you could see that it left. It just flew right out. We don't want that to happen. We want that when it hits the sides, it bounces too. There's two ways you can do this. The first way would be just to make an object really long, go up here, over here, and down here. That's the complicated way to do it. We're not going to do it that way. That's silly. What we're going to do is just make it bounce off the walls. And how you're going to do that, you're going to do a new condition. Go to the ball, because the ball is the one that's going to be affected. And in this one, you're going to do position, because we want it to when it leaves. That's the position. And it's going to be this first one here, text position of ball. I'm just going to bring this little screen. This is basically showing the frame area. And this is really easy. These little arrows leaving the screen, we're saying when the ball tries to leave on all these sides, not the bottom, but just the top part. So look. So when the ball leaves the play area on the top, left, or right, so it's trying to leave, easy, just tell it to bounce. Also look at this. Get over there. Oh. I messed up. Let's try that again. Sorry, I'm so bad. There, look at that. Doesn't leave anymore. Does not leave. It just bounces. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, one more problem. The next thing we got to do, look at our bar, man. Our bar is still just a renegade for life. It's just leaving the sides. We don't want that either. That's terrible. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the exact same thing. Instead, we're just going to use the bar, position, text position, and just the sides. And instead of making it bounce, because the bar doesn't need to bounce, you can just say stop instead. Now look at this. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. See, now it can't leave. So now everything is kind of constrained in here. So we're almost done. See, pretty quick, super easy. And look, this is already a game right here. Perfect game. Beautiful. Next thing we're going to do is our lives. You notice I'm pretty bad at this game when the ball leaves. First of all, the ball doesn't come back, and I don't lose any lives. So we're going to fix it so I lose a life, and the ball will come back to us. So I bet you guys can guess what you got to do here. Just kind of think about it. What we're going to do is when the ball goes where? We already did it, except now we're going to do it through the bottom. So when the ball leaves the bottom of the screen, what's going to happen to the ball? Well, it's going to be destroyed. Gonzo. It is dead. And now the next thing you're going to do is you're kind of thinking you're probably going to want to affect this. You actually don't. MultiMedia Fusion 2 has this guy right here. It's a joystick, and it's basically keeps track of all the score and all the lives, which is super easy. So you just click on that and a number of lives, subtract. We're going to get rid of one life. So subtract number of lives, 1. Gone. So we get rid of one life and the ball's destroyed. So now when you play, boom. Lost a life, ball's gone. But the only issue is now we don't get any balls. The balls are all, where does it go? So we got to put one in there. With this is another one I haven't shown you yet. This is the create new object. It allows you to do exactly what it says, create new objects. Pretty simple. So click on that, create object. What object do we want to create? Well, we want to create a new ball. So click on that. This right here, this little guy, is going to be where we create the new ball. And we're just going to click right there at the top. We want to create it right there. Okay. Perfect. Now let's give it a shot and see what happens. So the ball gets destroyed. Look at that. Lose a life, get a new ball. Second chances. It's beautiful. Now what do we got to do next? Well, look at the score. I'm hitting all these bricks and my score is still 0. You know, that's a bummer. We want to put that up. That's what we're going to do next. We're going to make the score go higher. Now we don't need to make a new condition for this, because what we want to happen is when the ball collides with the brick, we want to get points. Well, that condition already exists. So all we have to do is add to it. So go to your score right here. Add to score, 100 points. That's simple. Now we play it. Boom. Get 100 points every time I break a brick. My score goes up. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that fantastic? So there's only one more thing we really got to do, and that's when you die, the game doesn't end. It keeps going. You know, there's no punishment for losing all your lives. In order to do this, we're going to make a game over screen. So when you die, you get a game over. So we're going to go here to our storyboard editor that shows all the different frames. And you're going to make a new one. You can just click on number 3. Or I guess you would do number 2, because I already have mine made. Game over. So go in there. I made a nice little game over because I love to taunt my players when they suck and they lose, because I'm just wonderful like that. So you too can make one. You don't have to. I just did it because I'm a hateful person. So hit insert, new object. We're going to add a scoreboard here. So you can, put in your score and brag to all your friends you did so well on your own game, because that's what you do. It's already a pre-made object. Super easy. It's called high score. Pretty simple. Just drop that in there. And look at that. That's all you got to do. MultiMedia Fusion 2 already has the code done. It already knows that the score is going to go in here, so you don't have to do anything. That is awesome. That is amazing. So I'm just going to align it so it looks good. And that's it. Then you're done. Now you just got to make it jump to this frame. And I'm going to show you how to do that. In fact, I'm going to... So go back to level 1 and go back to your code. So now we want to make it when your lives equal 0, you're going to jump to the game over screen. So that's what we're going to do. So new condition. It's not on your lives, it's here. Remember, this controls all your lives and your score. It's not this or this, it's this, the joystick. So, and look at that, it already has it. It already knows that video games, bad things happen when your lives reach 0, so that's already right there. When number of lives reach 0, click on it. So your lives are 0. We're going to show you a new guy. That's this guy right here. He's the chess piece and the checkerboard. Or I guess chessboard too. I don't know why I said checkers. This is what controls all the frames. This is, if you want to do something with a frame, this controls it. So we're going to click there. Jump to frame. Okay, that's what we want to do. What frame? That frame. Done. Done. Let's run it. So, I'm playing my game, getting a good score, and then I start sucking, I get tilted way hard, and boom, jumps to this, and look at that. Get to insert my name, and it saves it. It saves it. I know I have 3 scores there. That's because I pre-made this game and deleted it, so I could show you. So that's why those scores are there too. But it saves all your scores. Isn't that awesome? So it saves it. So that's kind of neat. So there you go. There's a score right there. Saves it. And that's it. You're done. You just finished your game. You did it. Your first game done right here. One more thing we're going to do. I know you realize, man, this is boring because the backgrounds are white and it just hurts your heart. You can click on that, the level 1, and go to properties, because that's the frame properties. And you can add like a background picture if you want. And I'll show you more how to do that later. Or you can just change the background color just to make it not so boring. We can't do that one. You want to do a good one that's going to... I think that's good. Black will be good. But then you can't see the score. Got to be careful about that. You don't want to do one where you can't see a lot of your objects. I think purple will be okay. Everything pops out in the purple. And then game over screen. I'll make mine red so it makes them angry. Just to make it look a little nicer, you can do that. Look at that. So you're done. Your game is done. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or drop a comment below. That's fine. I'll be reading them so I can answer any questions you have. I'm going to do more to teach you more. This was really simple. This program is actually really powerful. This is just a really simple game. Also, if you want to go further, you can make more levels. You can make levels with more bricks. You can even make bricks that you have to hit twice to break them. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. I'm not going to show you any of that. You can just kind of play around. I'm going to move on to something a little more advanced. But I encourage you, make your game, and then once you make it, I would love to see it. If you want to send it to me, send me pictures. That would be awesome. If you want to look at my game, I'll save it on my website, and I'll leave a link below. So you can have a look at that yourself and just see how I did it and look at my code. And yeah, that's awesome. I hope to see you. I'm going to be making more of these, so I hope that